Welcome to Holly's Pandorium, featuring your host, psychic medium Holly Jordan.
Hey everybody, this is Holly from Holly's Pandorium. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're back here with me again. And I have a new guest for everyone to meet. I have not heard his stories before, so we're going to hear him for the first time. This is Don. Hi, Don.
Hello.
I'm very glad to have you here. And Don has got a variety of paranormal stories. So I am really excited to hear these because he's like me. He's had some experiences with a variety of different energies. And so I'm looking forward to hear this. So Dawn, if you would please share with everybody what you do, like how you work in the paranormal nowadays, and give us some stories about what you did when you were a kid and how did you get introduced into paranormal subjects? How did that come about for you?
Okay. Right now, I collect tabs on Bigfoot and a lot of different cryptids running around the Southwest, my region where I'm currently at. S- Um, and just going to them areas looking for tracks and physical evidence and signs, from skinwalkers to Bigfoot. And even while I'm out there investigating a lot of these, I would see UFOs and even witness abduction and also just existing. We would run into Goatman. And so all these things, I've experienced and witnessed my whole life. And, all these things going on, it just seemed like it's meant to be. It's meant to
Yeah.
be. And I started researching uh, Sasquatch myself for the past 9 years, tracking and speaking with eyewitness evidence and looking into evidence and a whole bunch of scary stories that I have. I'm going to write a book on all that. It's really, really interesting creature Bigfoot is. And while I was out there, looking into Bigfoot, I would run into all kinds of things and find all kinds of tracks. And there's more things out here than Bigfoot. And so I start last year. We done a documentary with William Jevening. He's
Hmm.
one of the well-known Bigfoot researchers. So we did a Bigfoot on Navajo Nation documentary that will hit Tubi soon. It's going to be really great. And we started my podcast not too long ago called "Don't Whistle at Night," and that's where I am right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've watched a couple of your episodes. I love it. It's a good show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and I can't wait. You'll have to let us know when you're gonna release the other documentary so we can share that. That would be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm waiting for my producer to get in touch with me. He's thinking of he might make it a whole season episode because we got a lot of footage, a lot of great. You're gonna see me jumping out the Jeep and speaking with pinion pickers, loggers, even kids, side the
Wow.
road, and everyone's seen Sasquatch, and everyone's seen more things than Sasquatch on
Oh,
Navajo
wow.
land, including here around St. George, where I currently am. There's a gargoyle, so I have a lot of witnesses that seen the gargoyle,
Oh,
like
wow.
big horned gray figure with wings and a tail flying around. So,
That would be
you know,
incredible.
oh man, it's all the way from Tucson, Apache land, Navajo land, now all
Right,
the way out here in southern Utah,
right.
southwest Utah. So, we got a lot of amazing things going on around us at night.
That's
And
incredible. I
yeah,
think it's amazing too. We were just talking before we got started about the difference in, Native American culture and the openness to the paranormal and how a lot of other cultures and a lot of other countries
yeah.
are far more familiar with the paranormal and accepting of it, and how, our American culture kind of needs to catch up. We really need to hear more about these other things that people are seeing and experiencing. I feel like sometimes if you're open to seeing things, you'll see more. So
Mhm.
I'm not surprised that you have so many more sightings on
Oh,
reservations
you
because,
have no idea.
right?
Yeah.
It just makes sense to me. So can you please take us back to when you were little Dawn, and what kind of stuff did you see when you were small? What was your first exposure to the paranormal?
Shoot, man. It basically it all starts, you know, like a lot of Navajo children growing up in my era back. I was born in 1988, so I was around with my great grandparents from my grandmother's side and my great great grandparents from my father's side. So I would have Navajo stories left and right, and all the way from the
Wow.
sun go up to the sun goes down, and everyone's drinking strong Folgers coffee, with the fire.
Nice.
So I would hear amazing stories that this world will never hear again. Some
Right.
amazing stories. So I'd be a little kid trying to stay awake and falling asleep.
Right.
So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
and for me, like as far as I can remember, there'd be times where I would wake up in the morning and my family members they'd be telling me like, "Do you remember anything last night?" I'm like, "No, I don't." "Are you sure?" Like, "No." Because you were gone, you left this house around 2, 3 in the morning, and we were looking everywhere for you. We were so scared. We went down a mile of the pavement, and we went down 3 miles on the dirt road this way, and we found you walking towards the school with your hands out. You're holding on like you're holding someone's hands. And another night, I'll be going down the dirt road into deep into Navajo land.
Mhm.
One is, a lot of there's a ridge line that little people take, and that ridge
Mhm.
line is also haunted, and
Mhm.
Bigfoot walks that ridge line. So I was walking out that way, holding on something's hand almost every night. Something was taking me out of the house, and I'd be awake, but I don't remember a single thing. And there'd be times where I'd be dancing in the living room, like, just dancing in a circle, like a
Mhm.
strange dance. They don't know what I'm doing, and I'm
Oh,
I'm
wow.
awake, my eye is open. So it's always been like that since I can remember, and everyone would be praying, and my grandfather would put some ash on me,
Mhm.
be praying for me in the traditional way. I was raised half my family is Christian, half is Navajo traditional.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of back and forth all the time,
Sure.
growing up in but both sides always could agree on is the haunting, and both
Yeah.
sides can always agree and come together on is the witchcraft.
Yeah.
That's what both sides say, "We know this is going on, let's pray together." Yeah, they
Right.
would they would come together, say, "Let's pray together, something's going on here."
Right.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing. I wanna quickly interject a story really quick. So a friend of mine, when he was 2 years old, he lived in Oklahoma, and he was from a fairly good sized family, aunts and uncles, mom and dad, everybody was around. And one afternoon, he disappeared, and during the day, and of course, everybody just assumed he was out playing with neighbors or, some other family member. They couldn't find him for 4 hours,
oh,
and that really scared everybody, and they got a phone call from an auntie and uncle that were 200 miles away, and
oh,
they
I
said, "Guess who just came walking down our driveway?"
that's
And it was him, and they asked him, "How did you get here?" And he goes, "I don't know. I was just thinking about auntie and uncle, and here I am."
jeez.
And there's no way, even, if he was in a fast car, that he would have gone. There's no way. And how would somebody know to take him to he was 2. He wasn't speaking a lot. He was a quiet child, and so nobody could put 2 and 2 together. And they still, they asked him again and again as he got older, "Do you remember that day?" "Well, yeah." "How did you get there?" They kept asking him, hoping he'd come up with a different answer. "I just thought about him. I wanted to see them." He loved this
Yeah.
auntie and uncle and wanted to see him, and poof, he was there,
Wow. Sounds
right?
like he got picked up and dropped off.
Right? But that's pretty incredible.
It is, it is. It's just, it just only makes you to wonder even
Yeah,
more, like,
right.
how? and
Right.
this whole world is filled with that, like a lot of mysterious circumstances, and a lot of how and why.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why, which led me to become a cryptid investigator and podcaster. And I'm trying to
Right.
get equipment. My goal is to get a lot of equipment and to go back to Navajo land and capture everything.
That would be
Just like,
incredible.
yeah, just throw a huge net out there.
Right.
I already have captured some great evidence, Sasquatch wood knocking and
Nice.
voices. Voices. I leave a digital recorder out, so it's a lot of amazing things going on around us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, as a little boy, to just kind of go back to that again. So, you've done some unusual things in your life as a young man that you really couldn't explain, that didn't necessarily make sense, the dancing and, you know, walking somewhere with somebody, who knows who, but after kind of addressing that and your family thinking they needed to kind of watch out for you a little bit, did you have visitations? Do you feel like you had spirits in your room at night? I mean, was there anything else to kind of go along with these other things that happened, or did that develop later?
It had to been every night.
Yeah.
I was something was always going on with me. So like my family would say, he's going gushy again. So in Navajo, that means he's
Gushy?
yeah, gushy. That means
Okay.
somebody is like witching him.
Okay.
Somebody is
Okay.
trying to lure him away from us, to take him
Ah,
away.
okay. Okay.
Remember like how Dracula does his thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
O
yeah, so the same
okay.
thing. So that's what they were saying a lot. Somebody wants to take
Okay.
him because my father's side of the family, they were well known to do witchcraft, and they
Okay.
came
Sure.
around a lot for me to try to take me,
Okay.
and they had to play hopscotch with me a lot. So I don't know. There was always something. You know, I've always went through this paranormal things a lot, and
Okay.
till this one day, my family got together, the Christian side.
Mhm.
They all got together and they called on one of my grandfathers. He's a preacher, traveling preacher still to this day. So they waited for me. They said, wait till nighttime around 10 or 11. Wait till he goes to sleep.
Right.
We're gonna hide outside the house. Let me know. I don't know how old I was, but I
Okay.
remember it seemed like a nightmare to me, a lot of
Okay.
nightmares. That's what it seemed like to me. And
Okay.
I don't and I was just felt like I was like a vehicle. And I wake up like, how did I get here?
Oh,
So
wow.
it was a lot of things going on. And I went to sleep, and he came in, a lot of family members surround the whole bed where I was sleeping. They started praying for me. And they said that
Okay.
I laid on my back. I opened my mouth, my eyes was open. My mouth opened, this huge bright light came out from my mouth, and then the whole lights went off, and that light was lighting up the whole room and just went. Then the lights came back on again, and he said,
Interesting.
this little guy, he's supposed to be a median."
Yeah.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
So, and growing up, that switch never shut off,
Okay.
because like I would go to a place that I had never been, never had been there, and I find out that it's haunted, and I
Okay.
would see spirits, I would hear voices, and I would
Ah,
see, like little things running around that people can't see.
right.
Kids, and I always knew that there's something going on, and no one doesn't really understand. You
Right.
know, there's always, it was, I was raised without water and electricity part of the time too, around a lot of older people. So
Sure.
I was an old soul around older people a lot.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
Yeah, yeah, and
Right.
and one of the things that you know that part stopped for a while,
Mhm.
and I got older, and we left the window cracked one summer night because we didn't have AC,
Mhm.
so cool air can come in.
Mhm.
And I woke up the next day, and the swirl in my hair was cut, because the skinwalkers, when they come around, they cut the swirly part on your hair,
Okay.
because that's where, like, they believe that it's where your soul, where it enters the center. And like another sign is right here, your finger, the swirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all family, every one of us, because we all have that, and we all have 5 fingers. So we're
Right.
really spiritual creatures. We're spiritual conduits. That's what
Right.
we are.
No, that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
yeah. So we always know that their spiritual side is the real reality. As soon as we leave this vessel here, that's
Hmm.
where we're gonna go. Um, you know, so they cut my hair. The next day, my mother, she was just crying. She was checking my hair, and I was just looking at her face, and you can tell she was just, like there's no hope, like terror, and that's when I realized, like, oh man, this is really bad. You know, I should have closed the window last night. And that night, oh man, I was having really bad, horrible nightmare. Like,
Oh,
my eyes opened up where my hair was, and I was looking around. I was in a cave, and there's fire, and
okay.
there's chanting going on in Navajo. And so I don't know
Okay.
how to tell you. My eyes opened where my hair was. My hair was tied, and
Right.
this lady, she's holding my hair. See,
Okay.
say this is my hair right here.
Okay.
She's holding it, and she's chanting it, like chanting death chants, cursing me, and she's saying in
How
Navajo.
horrible.
Yeah, that's what they all do on the Navajo Nation. They go after the children first. They kill the children first, while the main target watches everyone die around him. Really
Interesting.
evil. Really
That
evil.
is. But I'm also fascinated with the connection of entrance into your body through a spot on the back of your head. And that just to translate over, there's several religions that believe that evil can enter the body through the top of the head.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that is
like
why a
mm,
lot of faiths, different faiths, um, the Hebrew faith has yarmulkes that men wear to protect their heads. And there's other, in Afghanistan, there's different faiths that the Muslim faiths that wear coverings. Women and men cover their hair because of possibility of having evil enter their bodies through the top of their head. So I'm saying this because that really speaks to a very diverse group of people across the world that have that belief system.
yeah. Like
So
same
that's
thing, like
fascinating.
yeah, like for us Navajos, they told us not to eat pork as well. Another strange connections we
Oh,
got.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Mhm.
Wow.
And for
So
the same
y
reasons why they say not to. Strange, right?
right. So you were still, like, grade school age when this was happening, right?
Oh, I was before grade school age. This was
So
before my
even
grandmother
younger.
left. Yeah,
Oh,
this is
wow.
way,
Okay.
way younger. I remember this because my grandmother was still here. She left when I was 6.
Okay.
So this is leading up to where she left,
Interesting.
as far back as
Wow.
I can remember. And there's a
So
lot of things going on with my family. Skinwalkers bothering us, and my uncle shooting them, and my grandpa shooting and killing them. So my
oh, wow.
great grandpa and my grandfather were known to hunt them and go after them and go on the offensive and even
No
find
wonder they wanted to come after you. They didn't want the family to continue that, because
yeah.
that's a calling. That's a profound, specific calling.
Yeah, because it all goes back to my great grandparents. They
Right.
used to be skinwalkers, and they turned their
Oh,
ways, and then the family that we're part of, they went and started killing half of their kids. They had, like, about 14 kids. Half of them died. They killed them.
that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, my grandmother, she was the oldest one, so she had a lot of responsibilities, so she grew up with a lot of pain and a lot of guilt.
I bet.
So they, being the only grandchild around at the time, they had to really watch out for me physically, spiritually, mentally. They did a good job. My younger days, they did the best they could, but we're all human.
Well,
And
and to be fair, I mean, you didn't know what they were trying to protect you from in depth. I mean, you knew something bad was happening, and you
yeah,
clearly had a sense of fear, which is a natural instinct to protect yourself. I think that's built into us. I think that's how we've survived thousands of years, is that we have that intuition that this feels good, this doesn't. This feels bad. This is not right.
Yeah.
So that had to be very intense as a young man.
Oh, it was it
And
gets really
sleeping must have been really awful. I mean,
I
how
try
could you
not to
ever
go to sleep.
rest?
I
Right.
try
Why would you? That
'cause,
sounds like nightmare land.
yeah,
Good.
when I would go to sleep, the lady would spin me in circles with my hair, like this, and she was spinning me in circles. I could never see her face because her hair was covering her face. It was charcoal hair, and she
Wow.
was laughing and she was cursing me, like like every little thing about me, she was cursing me, you know, and I still we never knew who that lady was still to this day.
Hmm.
And this was going on, and I this was when I was in kindergarten because I couldn't
Okay.
go to school and I couldn't sit up and eat. I couldn't drink anything. No one couldn't come near me. The bed, they would try to come near me and I would start getting dizzy. I would start spinning and I would hold
Oh,
on to the bed sheets and I would know someone's coming near me because I would get dizzier. And I'd tell them to go, leave me, don't get any more closer. I'm getting more dizzier. Stay away. They would take a step. They're trying to pray for me,
right.
and I would get dizzy and I'll start screaming and I'll be crying
Wow.
until they have to leave the door, close the door, and then the spinning would slowly stop.
That's incredible, Don.
It was horrible. It was really
I
horrible.
can't even imagine.
I still get nightmares about them days still.
Oh, I bet. How could you
Yeah.
not?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
traumatic. That's when you're
Yeah.
supposed to be playing and be outside with your friends and climbing trees and doing little kid stuff. That's
Yeah.
very adult subject thinking matters to
Yeah.
be worried about being attacked
And we
all
had
the
to
time.
stay away from the elders too because we don't know. We can't, if you touch their hand, they can place a curse on you. And if they're around your vehicle, they'll place a hex on your vehicle. You'll get in an accident and die. So the left and right, it was. I grew up in that type of world, in the type of world where
That's
the
intense.
spirit realm is real. So whenever I go home to Navajo Nation to this day,
Mhm,
I feel not only I know the spirit realm is real, the conduit is more high, activities
mhm.
high, everything's heightened, your senses heightened. That's
Yes.
true. And also I feel free. I feel like your picture in the background,
Yeah.
I can just twirl in a
Yeah.
circle and sing.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
Wow.
whenever I go home,
Nice.
despite all the bad things that I've went through, it's still home. It still made me who I am. You're as tough as
That's what I was
lead
gonna say,
legacy.
yeah. So your
Yeah.
journeys, your many, many journeys brought you through a stronger individual. So maybe
Yes.
that was the point, is that your endurance is what's getting you through now
Yes.
and giving you a
Definitely.
very deep appreciation for what is okay.
Mhm.
But it
Yeah.
also makes sense to me why they went after you, because you have an energy that they want to use, and they wanted to prevent it
So,
from being against them. So that makes a lot of sense why they were so persistent to harass
yeah.
you.
Yeah, they would even, come by and knock on the door, and they would be in a different shape or form and try to ask for me.
Yeah, scary.
This was going on for a while until finally one day the dizzy slowed down. I managed to finally get some rest, so
Mhm,
I got a break somewhere in between
mhm.
there.
Right.
And my grandmother, she managed to place me in another room and she
Yeah.
laid in the same bed where I laid. This was late
Mhm.
at night.
Right.
And she was laying there, she was dozing off and she always curled her hair, so she had curly hair,
Right. Right.
old school lady. So she was
Sure,
laying down
sure.
and she felt something touch her hair and she jumped up and flew to the light switch. We're in a community called Halchita. We're in the old this was old uranium miner community. The
Gotcha.
miners rolled up the grass, picked up the white picket fence and left.
Oh, wow.
And then the Navajos came and moved in to the
Oh,
empty
wow.
houses. So those houses were haunted too. So
Sure.
yeah. So it was in there and she turned on the light, turned around, and this one, the famous medicine man's grandson, was on the corner of the roof top up there like Spider-Man. hanging out up there in the corner, and she grabbed the broom and started smacking the crap out of him, and she chased him out.
Nice.
She's she's yelling at him, "What are you doing?" And
Yeah.
3 days later, they both died in separate times,
Who did?
my grandma and that guy, because whenever you would find out their identity, he would die 3 days, and then that person that found out who they are, that person's marked for death 3 days too.
Wow. How
So that
sad, though.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and that's
That's a
where
lot of
my
loss for you. All that terror and all that anxiety, and then to lose somebody that was trying to protect you, that had to be rough.
oh, yeah. It's it's our life expectancy on the Navajo Nation is lower than the life expectancy in North Korea. So,
Really?
yeah. So, when I was 13 years old, I was fighting 23-year-olds, 33-year-old men. It was just really, really messed up. It's really poverty stricken, and also a lot of drugs and alcoholism, and also
Right.
a lot of spirits around.
I bet.
It's just all a mixture of everything. So if you were to see in a spirit realm, you would see a tornado, a spiritual nocturnal tornado at night around.
Wow.
So there's a lot
That's a
the
vivid image, a
yeah,
tornado of spirits. Wow.
yeah. So these things are really around, and
That's incredible.
a lot of portals open up too, and that's one of the most amazing things that I have ever seen in my life, and I want to capture it on film.
No, that would be incredible to be able to
Yeah.
document any of it because it's
Mhm.
intense.
Yes.
I can just imagine
And
how that might transfer onto an image.
mm.
So
Oh
you're
man,
able
just
to see
imagine a
it.
giant window. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just open up in the sky. I'll go into that story.
Okay.
Like it, but so yeah, the my grandmother and my grandpa, they were driving down the dirt road, and they ended up having a feud that morning. I was supposed to go with them to go and check our livestock. We had mustangs, we had
Mhm.
horses, we had cattle, sheep, and goats. And this one morning I couldn't get up. I couldn't get
Mhm.
up to go with them. They tried waking me up, and when they were headed out, they decided to get some beer. And when they got out to the ranch area, they got in a fight, and she kicked him out the truck, and she was hauling butt down the dirt road. She lost control. She flipped the truck, and she got ejected, and the truck rolled over her.
Oh no.
And we found my grandpa. As soon as she died, we looked. I was there. Looked up at the sky. The sky was blue. This was in the evening time. The sun was still out. I
Mhm.
seen the whole sky just get gray. All these clouds came, and it was a light female rain for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, just the whole sky. Just seen all the clouds came. Like everyone was crying, and we
I
picked up
bet.
my grandpa, and my grandpa left us. He was really, really, really sad, and he
I
came
bet.
to this area, this squat or not squat, this one area where a lot of people hang out, play cards and chit chat, and he's walking over there, and he's walking to his buddies, and this one medicine man in the group he stood up, and his jaw was hanging. He's watching him come. He's like, are you really here? Like, are
Yeah.
you are you really walking here amongst us? Like,
Right.
are you alive? Asking him that type of question in Navajo.
Right. Right.
And he's like, yeah, what are you talking about? And he's like, you're supposed to be dead with your wife. Two people supposed to die, not one. So that
Right.
guy got up and left.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's incredible.
and then I finally managed to get to school, and I was really distraught. And
I bet.
this little girl sitting next to me, she's like, my grandpa's a medicine man.
Mhm.
I was like, okay. And she's like, do you know they can make invisible arrows and shoot it at trucks when they're driving so their tire can pop and they can kill people like that? Yeah, and
Holy smokes. She said that to you?
she said that to me, and she was like a little girl. This was kindergarten.
Oh
She's
my
how happy.
god. Well, she thought it was magic,
First time.
some cool magic that could be done. She didn't
Yeah,
realize what she
they
was
do.
saying to you.
They
Wow.
really do an arrow. There's different
Wow.
ways you can have that arrow. We even have a little thing we can do when the skinwalkers are around. We just get
Right.
cedar ash and we say a little prayer. We get
Mhm.
the cedar ash right at our thumb, tip of
Mhm.
our thumb, and we flick it after our end of our prayer. We flick it and we see the ash leave our fingertips and it turns into arrow right there and it goes
Oh,
after that skinwalker like a heat
interesting.
sensor. And you hear it connect and you hear that skinwalker go, oh, oh, and you would hear him run off, gallop off, or fly off.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of different ways you can use that, fighting fire with fire.
Well, you need something. Good heavens. I mean, and that you're the first person to talk about a way to repel them and get them away from you, because most of the time it's a no share policy. We don't talk about it, we don't share, we don't say the word. Nobody wants to go there. It's just forbidden. You just don't talk about skinwalkers, you don't say anything about them. I'm really glad to hear you talk about something to do with self-defense,
Yeah,
because I don't think we were meant to be helpless. I believe always there's a balance in everything. So you
mm,
can't just have something that's devouring people without some way to combat that.
yeah.
So I love that. I think that's awesome. That's very
There's a
cool.
lot of different ways. Like during my times where I was having my mini sessions, my gushy sessions.
Mhm.
One of the things my grandpa would do is put ash on me, cedar ash on my
Right.
forehead. And then whenever they would come around, he would put ash on everybody. So there's like a
Yeah.
lot of different ceremonial songs that you would use for
Right.
specific purposes, for protection, for offense. It's going after them.
That
And
makes
there's
sense.
also, yep, and there's also ways to move hauntings out of a house or
Nice.
inside of a person
Right.
or off of a thing like this if this is haunted.
Okay.
And yeah, and it just even from the mind too.
Right.
So there's a lot of different songs, ceremonial songs that were taught to us by the little people and by the star people and
Okay.
by the thunder people and by the creator
Okay.
himself.
So let's go back to when you're a kid in kindergarten. Okay. And
Mhm.
so you've lost grandparents. That's very traumatic. You've had a lot of bad nights. You've not had a lot of sleep. You've had a lot of anxiety. You've had a lot of, looking over your shoulder, making sure you're safe. That's not a lot of time to just relax and be a child.
Oh man, I was getting bullied too. Oh man,
Yeah.
I was getting bullied by sixth graders and fifth graders, trying to
Yeah.
protect my buddies. But yeah, it was everywhere, left and right.
Yeah.
It was nonstop. And after I lost my grandmother, it just went silent.
Okay.
And it was like everyone says that she took my place. That's what she did.
In
I
what
was
way?
supposed She died for me. I was the target.
Okay. So she sacrificed herself for you, essentially. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
um that's
Okay.
what a lot of our people said. So she took your place for you.
So that sounds like you almost had a life debt on you for some reason. So maybe
Yeah, I
that's what
wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking any water, and I wasn't sleeping.
that's terrible. So
Yeah.
after that, you were able to function? You were able to sleep? Did the nightmares stop?
Pretty much close as normal as I could be.
Okay. Under the circumstances, right. It
Yeah,
wasn't normal,
yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The nightmares would be, every now and then.
Okay.
And, and I got a little bit older. Let's see. I got into all the way up into my what I can remember is 13 years old.
Okay.
Reason why I can remember 13 because I barely hit puberty. I
Right.
was feeling tough, like a
Right.
tough.
Sure.
Yep, and then, we're in this part of the Navajo Nation where, I was with the Christian side of the family this time. It was a summer night,
Hmm.
and we had to take care of the huge tent,
Hmm.
because the skinwalkers come in, they would place curses on every seat and go into the center of the pole
Okay.
and place curses and go to the pulpit and touch the equipment. And the curses that they would say is this guy is gonna be a womanizer. This guy is
Okay.
gonna cheat on his wife. This
Okay.
guy is gonna abuse his kids. This guy's gonna start drinking. This guy's gonna
Mm.
start gambling. He's gonna start looking at pornography. So they start
Okay.
all kinds of stuff like that. They start
Okay.
attacking the home unit first, and
Okay.
they would make you go crazy too. And they
Sure.
start speaking to you. You hear them speak to you from outside. You're like, so I'm going crazy. They would help fuel everything like that.
Right.
Yeah. So, I was 13 years old, and all of us male, teenagers to men have to be there. We had to camp there. We're loaded with guns, and we have
Right.
spotlights, and
Okay.
we want to have fun. We go
Sure.
spotlighting, we go four-wheeling at night,
Right. Right.
we play hide and go seek at night,
Oh,
and there's a lot of good stories on that too.
sure.
So, um this was one of these nights where we're all planning. This was probably like 1, maybe 12 at night.
Hmm.
We're all planning, like, what are we gonna do tonight? We're gonna go
Hmm.
spotlighting this canyon, go spotlighting this canyon, this
Hmm.
canyon, this canyon, and we're walking out in the back of the tent. My uncle, he was like 4 years older than me, maybe 5 years older than me. And then I had another relative that was 1 year older than me. So I was in the middle of them. We're both talking and walking. Everyone is inside the tent. And we get outside, and I'm talking, I'm speaking with them. I don't remember what I was saying, but I heard my grandpa's old Chevy Silverado single cab pickup, the
Hmm.
shocks, the struts,
Yeah.
the weight jump off.
Okay.
You hear that?
Yeah.
That we
Distinctive
just
sound.
stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the moon was out, the stars was out. It was bright. It was a
Right.
beautiful night, as usual.
Hmm.
So, we heard that. We stopped. I look, and we look that way. I see the truck, and then I see a figure coming down from the top of the truck, and he's
Okay.
gliding down like he's underwater.
Interesting.
He's gliding down slow, and he didn't touch the ground. He was 2 to 3 feet off the ground, and half his body was Coyote's leg. He had a tail,
Okay.
and his upper torso, he had no shirt on. You can tell
Okay.
he had a lot of jewelry on, Native
Okay.
American jewelry on, and
Okay.
he had a lot of silver, turquoise rings and
Right.
bracelets, and he had a white face paint. And he had some symbols on there you can't really
Okay.
tell, and he had a coyote's pelt on, and I can see
Okay.
his face. Then he had a Navajo blanket, like kind of over him, kind of draped over
Okay.
him, and he was staring at us. And my uncle, he's like, "Oh my gosh, that's a Yanatloshi." Now that means skinwalker.
Okay.
They, him and my relative, they both book it back into the tent, and I'm still standing there looking at this thing, taking it
Okay.
all in. And within a split second, bah, you hear something fly by your ear, like,
Right.
and I seen like a lightning, a yellow light, him running down the road. Flash,
Okay.
flash, gone.
So he took
And
off, or did something
yeah,
hit him?
he's
He just
gone.
took off.
Oh, it was him. That was the sound of him taking off. That flash, that noise of a
That bolt. Wow.
bullet. Yeah, like a bullet flying by. I don't know if you ever heard a bullet flying by.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. And then that
Yeah.
light, like a lightning. It was something out of this world, because they can travel with yellow light or red light. They travel with crystals. So crystals, they do a lot of things, magical things with crystals. They
That's
project things.
incredible.
Yeah,
'Cause
they'll
that's
be
that's what I
outside.
was gonna ask you. So you're 13 years old, and you've been through all this stuff. I'm curious now, between the time that you were in kindergarten to 13, do you remember noticing I'm gonna say, supernatural or spiritual type things during the day? Did you see spirits from time to time? Did you notice other energies during the day?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So, like,
this
and let me narrow it down because this I'm getting to a point. So, when you were around strangers, let's say, or people that maybe you didn't know very well, did you notice if they had creatures around them, like next to their heads or
yeah,
around them? Okay. And
especially
then
alcoholics.
okay, good. And then did you notice people's energy auras? Did you see colors around people?
Yeah, or I would just know, I was always the type where I would observe the whole room.
Okay.
And like this one, like I went to, like, for example, I went to Job Corps in Ogden, and
Okay.
I was observing this room. This one kid, he looked at a place. I walked up to him. I was like, "Do you practice any kind of witchcraft or anything? I
Mm,
don't know why I gotta ask you this. I need to ask you this." And his
yeah.
whole face went pale. He's like, "I'm practicing Wicca. How did you know? Who told you?" And I was like, I just know.
Yeah.
I don't know how. It's always been
Yeah.
like that. Like
Right.
I always knew and figured something out going on. Like
Right.
I would take a nap. I would get home from school during the day, and I would get up, something would come in through the door, and it's a Native American man with no
Okay.
shirt, old buckskin
Right.
leggings on, with
Yeah.
thick black hair and dark skin. He's looking around the house. He's like, "Oh my gosh, what is this? What is this?" And he's running
Right.
around like
Right.
he's lost. And he went
Right.
into the back room. The whole time I get up from the couch, like, "What in the world? Who are you?" I'm like
Right.
watching him, and I get up and I follow him into the back room, like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing here?" And he's gone.
Right. Okay.
So, that's normal, things like that.
Okay.
So, sometimes you can't tell if someone's a real figure, like a real person, or not sometimes, because they're walking with something, or someone's dead walking with somebody that's
Yeah.
gonna die.
Right.
That's what we notice when someone's gonna die, they see things a lot. And I
Yes.
would hear it and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this person's gonna leave soon." And still to this day,
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like calling it out, but I would go to them and say, "Hey, you're gonna be leaving soon if you don't change your ways." And
Yeah.
they would be gone. And
I have a
it's
friend
sad.
that's a psychic, and that is her entire gift. That's all she sees and hears. She never hears like somebody's pregnant or, you're going to go on a vacation or you're going to get a job promotion. All she gets is injury and death. So when she's at work, somebody can walk by and she gets the date they're going to die and how they're going to die. Just
That's
people walking past her.
Oh man, that's
So, can you
horrible.
imagine the burden that is? I mean, insane. Or
Yeah.
like she said one afternoon, it was just unbearable. She had this lady that she worked with that had a daughter that just got a skateboard
Mhm.
as a gift, and she saw her getting injured, like falling off the skateboard, but the injury developed into something else that killed her at the age of 13.
Ooh.
And so, what do you say? Take away your kid's skateboard? I mean, what do how do you handle that? And so it's a gift and it's a burden to get all of it and to
That's what
narrow it
makes
down.
it scary.
You've got the whole cornucopia. You've got the jumbo basket of all the gifts. And so that's
Yeah.
a lot to juggle. And then being a 13-year-old and having hormones, your hormones are going nuts. Your body's developing. Your brain still hasn't finished developing. You've still got years until that's done.
Still feels like it's not done yet. That's good. But
Well,
yeah.
they say it develops until you're 26. So, are you
Mm.
26 yet?
Oh man, I'm 36.
Okay, well, okay. But that's the thing. You've at
Yeah.
least got some time for your brain to settle down and
Mhm.
deal with things.
Yeah.
That's a lot to process for
It's
anybody. But for
yeah,
your age, I mean, did
like,
you ever get to be a kid, Dawn? I mean, did you
no,
it doesn't
no,
sound
no.
like it. It sounds
I
like
had
you've been a
to
grown up forever.
yeah, I had to drive my grandparents around at the age of 5 because they're too drunk to drive.
Oh
So
my.
that's when I started driving, and that was stick shift in an old Ford F-150 pickup.
Yeah.
And I had to dress my grandpa because he would be so drunk, and I would have to change his clothes, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
So I grew up like that, and
That's
it's
growing
not
up real
fair.
fast. No, it's not.
Yeah, yeah. And then at night, the skinwalkers would be coming around trying to get in the house, and I'm the only sober one when everyone's either not home or too drunk.
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
yeah, it's not fair, but it's life, and the only thing I can do is make sure my kids don't go through that.
Well, that
Stopping them.
and you get to be fun now. You have a
Yeah.
right to be frivolous and silly, and as they say in Ireland, dance like a dervish, which means
Mm.
just to dance
Yeah, like a
joyfully
dervish.
and
Oh.
silly. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
just to
exactly.
without a without abandon, to just
Mhm.
cut loose and just not be too serious from time
Yeah.
to time when
Yep.
it's allowed and when you can.
Mhm.
That's
And,
amazing.
yeah, and then, like, one of the most, huge significant ones that comes to the paranormal before going on my cryptid past, I was going like 17, 18 years old around there.
Mhm.
Going to school, everyone was normal except me.
Yeah,
I know something's out there. No one, everyone is normal. I'm the only one that's not normal.
right,
And I went to Job Corps. I wasn't getting along with a lot of my teachers. Everyone was.
right.
I'm from Utah, so
Mm,
everyone wants to shape you in a certain way, and they
right,
want everyone to sing an anthem, sing a song about Utah, and I didn't want to sing songs about Utah, and like,
yeah,
who wants to sing? I would get in trouble. The
right,
school's
yeah.
haunted too, the school's really haunted because we did Bloody Mary in the school, and then we seen a
Oh,
girl in the window, and all the kids were
yikes.
screaming. So that's how haunted that school was
Oh
on
my
the
gosh.
imagination. Yeah, and we had a teacher that was no good there too. He was abusing us kids, and he was abusing me too. And he finally expired himself, and he started haunting the school. And one of the teachers,
Yikes.
one of the teachers said that she was staying late, like about a few classes down, grading papers around 11. She was hearing bop 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 banging. She's like, "That sounds like a desk. Oh no, something's going on." She went to the
Right.
hallway, and she's like, "Oh no, it's coming from that way, the last classroom." And
Okay.
she's walking closer. She's like, "Oh, it's coming from his room." And then there were the skinny windows like this
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
So he had his desk right in front of that window. When you were looking there, you're looking right at him. So she looked in there after she didn't want to. She looked in there. She's seen him. She's seen him. He was sitting there like this, looking right at her, and she froze. And he started pop, pop, hitting his head on his desk really fast,
Just to make noise. Yeah,
smacking his head really loud, his hair and everything. This is after he was put in the ground.
yeah.
He was doing
Just
that
to
every
scare.
night.
Yeah.
Oh, he was doing that every night. All the custodians were reporting the banging. Everyone was hearing the banging.
Wow.
It was him every night at that desk banging his head.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
incredible.
yeah, and then like fast forward to Job Corps. I went to Weber Basin, so this Job Corps was an old Native American school. So they had
Mhm.
Blackfeet children, all the Native American children. They had this
Right.
reform school,
Okay.
and I was there my first week. I was being harassed by a little boy, a
Okay.
spirit of a little boy, and
Okay.
and this boy had a basketball. He's hitting me, boom, boom, boom. I was covering
Okay.
myself in the blanket. I
Yeah.
know I was getting hit. I was like, "Why are you hitting me? Stop,
R
stop!"
right,
I didn't
right,
want to look at him. I didn't want to look at him. I know,
right,
I know what I was gonna see, but I was so mad because I just flew in from Denver and I was tired, and
right.
I went boom. I pushed the blanket over. I noticed that like hauntings come around when I get hardly sleep. That's when I see and things around me
When you're tired,
when I'm
that's when they
tired.
hammer you. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Yep,
noticed from Seattle. I was in
yep,
Seattle last year, same thing. And
yeah.
then, I try to get sleep because it's not fun sometimes. And, I finally moved the blanket. I was like, "What?" I got
Mm,
into his face. I was sitting down,
mhm,
he was standing. We were face to face, and
mhm.
his eye was hanging down right here, and he was beaten. He got beat to death.
Oh,
Somebody beat him to death when he was a little kid, and he had a ball, and he was smiling. He's missing teeth,
he
you know?
needed you to know what happened. He needed
Yeah.
somebody to know what happened to him.
Black hair, and he's a Native American boy in the old school clothes. He was happy to see me, and hit me
Well,
again in
to
the
be
head.
seen.
Boom.
He was happy to be seen and be acknowledged. That's the
Yeah.
thing I encounter with spirits a lot. They go through these incredible experiences, but they just need to be heard and seen. They just want acknowledgement, even for a second. It
Mhm.
means something. It's like, I still matter. People still see me. I still hear
I
me.
think I think
Yeah.
in the astral realm, they like me to chase them.
Yeah.
Because when I sleep, like, when I'm sleeping, it's a dream. I'm, like, in the living room
Yeah.
with my family, and then I
Yeah.
will be turning, I see something real huge, like a black mass, like someone really tall in a black wedding dress would just
Right.
glide right behind me into the room. I
Yeah.
jump up, I'm like, "Did you see that?" And they're
Mhm.
looking at me like, "Oh, man, this is another dream," and I would run
Yeah.
after that tall black figure. I would
Right.
chase them out the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Every place I would go, I do that. I
Well,
wake up
you
like
kinda have
something's in
to.
the house.
You have to
Yes,
set
this is
boundaries.
yeah,
You have to set
yeah,
boundaries and tell them where they're not allowed, because
yeah.
they're attracted to you because of the light you carry, and they're gonna bombard you until you set boundaries. You always have spiritual authority wherever you're sleeping, wherever you lay your head. It doesn't matter if you own the house or not. If you're laying your head down somewhere, you got spiritual authority in that space. Take it,
Mhm,
and don't let them run you ragged, because they don't have authority over you at all. They have no power over you, none, but they can
mm,
harass you if you let them. Kinda
yeah,
like in real life, people will bug you if you let them. You
yeah,
gotta set your firm boundaries and say, "Nope."
yeah. Just like the old house in Phoenix was haunted too. I used to live at. We would wash the dishes. The kitchen would be nice. Then it would throw plates or whatever on the floor. Like, you better
Mhm.
get your ass in there and pick that shit up. I'm gonna go in there and whip your ass.
Right.
And then it would stop. And
Yeah.
I had good relations with that ghost there. It
Nice.
never bothered me, but other people would scare the crap out of other people.
I
And
bet.
and then my aunt's house, oh man, that one's another story.
So where was that at?
In Mesa.
In
So, like,
Arizona.
yeah,
Okay.
and I can
Yeah.
tell you about Kentucky. Everywhere I go, I would see ghosts and experience hauntings with or without my consent. That's
Yeah.
the issues that I have. Like, when I travel, I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna sleep at a hotel. I don't wanna sleep at this house because."
You don't know what's there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they're like,
no, I hear
"Why?"
you.
I'm like, "Oh, you have no idea why." I'm like, "I don't wanna."
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
good
always
one.
tell everyone I'm really sensitive, even playing in my first Ouija board. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That
wow.
is a freaking nightmare. I mean,
Yeah.
it should be in a scary movie. Everyone tells me it should be in a scary movie
Yeah.
because it's real, and I can just share it with what I've experienced, with what I've seen, and
Yeah.
all these experiences in my life. I wasn't alone most of the time.
Right.
Running over a
Right.
saber-toothed tiger. I was with my cousin,
Right.
skinwalker cousin,
Right.
Bigfoot. Hearing in Bigfoot and seeing Bigfoot. I was with family
Right.
playing hide and go seek, and ET started playing with us hide and go seek,
Mhm.
you know. So, and even experiencing a lot of poltergeists and exorcism. So, there's so much that I have too much to share.
No,
But
it's
I'll get
okay.
back
No,
to
that's not a big deal, honestly.
Mm.
So let's talk about your Ouija board experience. How did you get the Ouija board? Was it a gift? Did you buy it yourself? How did you come into it?
I have to backtrack to 15 years old. See, I forgot. I just went
That's
13.
okay. That's
So,
alright. You're leaping
yeah,
around. I get it. Your rabbit trails. I got it.
yeah, so, I was 15 years old, and I was on the Navajo Nation. I was staying with my cousin, and I was staying, I was borrowing his couch, you know,
Mm,
and he had a girlfriend that lived in this community about 7 to 10 miles away, and he wanted to see her. And the sun was going down. We're on a dirt bike. We had no headlight. It's like, hey, I got a little flashlight. Let's go over there. We'll just drive slow on the way back. So we made it there before the sun went down, and we got there, and she waved us over to her window, and it was her, excuse me, her two sisters, and they had a friend. So there's four girls, me and my cousin brother. We went to their window. They're like, come in, come in. We crawled in their window. They're like, keep it down. My mom's in the back room. So we have this, it was the first time ever seen a Ouija board on a setup, like a little table and a candle. So I was hesitant at first. They're like, come on, being a 15-year-old, I don't want to be chicking around those girls.
Right, right.
So I,
Gotta
I
be cool. Gotta be
yeah,
cool.
I tugged my cousin like, "Hey, I'm cool, I'm hip. I'm not
Mhm.
scared. Let's go." And he's like, "No, no." I was like, I know. Our families told us we're not raised to mess with this, but we're here.
Mhm.
Let's go. Come on, come on."
Right, right.
We climbed in, we sat down, and
Mhm.
they started playing. And they read what it said. It said lights off in 3 seconds. I was like,
Mhm.
what? And for some reason, all of us kids, we're all teenagers, and we all count. There's six of us. We all
Mhm.
counted 3, 2, 1, and we heard all the transformers, the street lights. So this community is a circle. So there's houses in the center and the houses in the
Right.
outskirts. So there's
Okay.
street lights all the way around. So
Okay.
all those lights, you hear them poof, 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 all going off. Like, oh snap! And then the light that was coming from underneath the door in the hallway, that
Mhm.
light went off. The every that whole community shut off, and then the candle was on, and it went off. And I was like, "Oh, something's gonna happen." And sure enough, boom, the flame was over like a foot. Imagine a flame like
Shooting
huge.
up in the air like that, that'd be
It,
crazy.
it was like this, and it was pop, 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 pop,
Mhm.
pop, 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 and it was black and blue. It wasn't
Mm.
it wasn't candle normal flame.
Right.
This was black and blue,
Yeah, yikes.
and it was tall, and it was lighting the whole room blue,
Okay.
and it was dark blue. And this was in the center, and bah, 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 bah. And then it was like flash strobe lights going on, and we're looking at each other as kids, and something was coming. I knew something's gonna happen, and I looked at the
Right.
corner of the room, and I seen a black figure, like a 3 foot person, like a
Okay.
midget, standing there at the corner. He had his
Okay.
face on the wall, and he turned around really slow. I seen his huge eyes. He was really dark, and he
Mm.
smiled. He had a long
Right.
grin, and he was smiling at us. And he took off towards us really fast, and he was moving like this, zigzag,
Yeah.
and he had smoke trailing him. And he was
Okay.
running towards us really quick in a supernatural, scariest way you can imagine.
Right.
And he came up to me. He zigzagged up to me, and he went this way. And the whole time he's smiling, looking at me
Ugh.
as he jumped into that girl that was sitting next to me. And that girl jumped up "Roar!" like a man. And I was like, oh. "Ah, ah." She turned around and she jumped out the window. Not like this, like this.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then just boom. And she's rolling around screaming, and I grabbed my cousin brother, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
And we crawled out the window, and their mom came through the door like, "What are you girls
I'd
doing?"
imagine, what the heck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. What are you doing?
"What are you doing?" And then
Oh
that
my
girl that
gosh.
jumped out the window, she came up to the windowsill and had her hand on the like this on the windowsill, smiling. So, "Oh, we're just
Mm.
messing around," like a girl. And I was
Mm.
I was standing on the right side of the windowsill. The light was on her. I was staring at her. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
She
see
was
another."
possessed, clearly. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of exorcism stories I can share with you. But
yeah,
I was looking at her, I was like, there's something wrong with her. She
yeah.
was really thirsty. She was
Mhm.
really hungry, and she was laughing at every little thing, and she was different.
Yeah.
When we got there, she was completely different person.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, it was watching her the entire time.
Yeah.
And then things cooled down. The mom went back into the hallway, and then the girls asked us, "You want to play again?" And I was like, "We will, but we're gonna stay out here."
Yeah.
So they brought the table to the window and the candle, and
Okay.
they played again. And I was like looking around, in the dark. I was like, "Geez, what's gonna happen now? This is
Hmm.
crazy. Why are we doing this again?" Oh yeah, because I'm not scared. Okay.
Okay. Be cool. Be
So
cool.
yeah, the
Right.
whole time this was going through my head.
Right.
Those girls, they're doing their thing, and they're like, "What? What do you mean the two boys outside are gonna be mine?" I was like, "What? What did it say?" It
Hmm.
says two boys outside are gonna be mine. And then we're like thinking like, what in the world? So this is the window. I was on the right
Hmm.
side, and my cousin Nate was on the left side. We're leaning
Okay.
on the wall talking, and the wall, the house that we're leaning on
Hmm.
disappeared.
Okay.
We're falling into the house, and I turned. I put my left hand on the windowsill, my right hand on the stud. That
Okay.
whole house was gone, and I was facing a black void, but the black and the gray were pattern of a spiral that went deep in like a Looney Tune, but it was black
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's a spiral that went in
Right.
all the leaf from the trees, the grass, the dirt, the vegetation was flying by me, and I can hear the wind being sucked in
Wow. Like a vortex. Yeah.
into the house. Yeah, a vortex opened up,
Mm. Wow.
and I had my hand like this, and my eyes was huge, and it's like like the air out of my breath was being
Hmm.
sucked into the house, and I was trying to breathe
Wow.
too. I was trying to catch my breath, and I was in the house like this, and I
Hmm.
pushed myself out like this, and
Hmm.
I was seeing everything, the grass going in. I looked over to my left, and my cousin, same thing was going on with him. Uh,
Wow.
he was more into the emo punk rock type
Sure.
deal, so he
Yeah.
had a little bit longer hair than I did,
Right.
and his hair was like this going into the house,
Oh
and
wow.
he was looking at me, and his eyes was about to pop out his
Well,
socket.
scary. It's like
Yeah,
what
and
the heck?
he had a leather jacket on. So
Hmm.
remember how it has the collar? So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
thing was going, it's hitting his
Wow.
face. This was very, very real, and this was going on, and those
It would
girls
make a good
destroyed that
movie.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
cautionary tale, don't mess with the Ouija board.
Absolutely. So my next question is, did anybody close the board when you were done?
They destroyed it.
Oh, good.
I don't know what they did. They destroyed it.
Good.
And that
That's
thing
the best thing.
closed. When it closed, that thing was destroyed.
Yeah. Because
So
that's
they
the one
seen
mistake I know most people make when they start them and play with them, because it's supposed to be a game, but most
what hap
people don't read
what
the directions all the way. You're supposed to open it and then close it when you're done.
what
So yeah,
happens when you go in,
what happens?
if you go in?
I don't think that you come out, because that's another dimension you're opening up.
Would you say
So
it's demonic portal?
oh, absolutely. In your case, what you're describing, absolutely. If it was something where there was love and light, it wouldn't have been scary, and it wouldn't involve one person owning two other people. None of that is love and light. That's your first clue. If you can attribute it to something loving and light and something that involves joy, that's what it's going to bring around it, and that's what it's going to attract. The fact that there was so much fear and there was so much stress going on, none of that was positive. None of that was kind. And the fact that the first connection with that girl made a complete personality change, I've seen that in person a few times, and it's real obvious when there's an energy there that's not supposed to be there. It's a
Yeah,
game for them. They
You can
think
just
it's
feel it.
delightfully fun because they're messing with the human. They mess with the thoughts. They can use your body however they want. And as long as you let it continue, they get more brave and they say more things and do more things that the person would never do. It just removes their inhibitions and basically leaves them to be under the suggestion of someone that doesn't have their best interest. So it's definitely going to take them down a road. So what was happening with you guys, I don't know if you physically would have gone into the vortex, but they were trying to get your souls in there for sure because they have energy. Energy never dies. And if they can get control of your energy, then they can use it for their end, for their purposes. So I'm not surprised that it felt extremely real. The first time I did something with just tarot cards, which were very mild by contrast. I was 16 and I worked at a doctor's office. I had graduated high school early, and I had one of my best friends and my office manager, who was this really neat lady named Charlie. And she said, you want to check out tarot cards? Sure. And so back in the day, we had these giant pillows that were couches. You put 2 or 3 on top of each other, and that was the back of the couch and the bottom of the couch. They were just massive pillows, like the size of a desk. They were huge. So she used it like a big table in the middle of her living room. So she puts the tarot deck out and she lays out this spread. And she goes, okay, now we're just going to focus. And so we're looking at them. And she goes, okay, I'll see what the cards are going to tell us about your future. And underneath the cards looked solid, right? But underneath the pillow was like a heartbeat moving up and down under the card deck. Scared the piss out of all of us. We froze. She stopped talking. My friend next to me started to cry. It was so creepy. The whole thing was terrifying. I've dealt with tarot cards for years after that with different people and never had a scary experience like that since. Not ever. But that particular instance, just like I know people that have had Ouija board experiences that weren't scary or bad, they were positive. I think it just depends on what the energies are around you and what's going on. And again, I think because your relative is probably like you, that your light is very attractive. They wanted something to do with you. And I think it makes sense that they would have been trying to grab whatever energy they could from you to use for their purposes. So I'm not surprised. I mean, there can be evil anywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It can be anywhere. It's very portable. It's very flexible. It goes just about anywhere. So okay, so you've got a lot of stories here. Now you mentioned something about a goat man. I definitely want to hear about this. So you had all these other things happening. When did you switch gears and start focusing on bipedals?
I can go back and finish the Job Corps one when I see.
Oh yeah, please. Yes, please do. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. When I was face to face with him, he kept hitting me with the basketball.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I was like, "Stop hitting me! Why are you hitting me?" And he's like, "Come play with me. Come play with me. I'll stop hitting you.
Yeah.
If you come play with me, I'll stop hitting you then." It's okay then. All right. I got up from my bunk and he wasn't there. And I look to so we had a bay, there's 9 beds. So he was at the doorway of that bay, just like that. And I started walking to the bay. He was standing there with the ball. I got to the end of the bay, he wasn't there. And I looked out the hallway. So each bay, there's three bays like this. Then the living room, 3 more bays that way. Then in the center is the living room, the shower, and the bathroom.
Okay.
So we're way at the end of this bay. So I got to the hallway. I look, he's already way at the end of the hallway with the ball. I can hear him giggling.
Right. He's excited. Yep.
Yeah. And I started running down that way. And I know I was asleep because I was running. I was asleep. I know I was asleep because I was running like I was asleep.
Right.
I got to the end of the hallway to the living room. And there's 2 doors. He was behind the other door already with the ball. Then the second door slammed and he was gone. And I was standing there crying.
Oh.
Nonstop crying.
Yeah.
I was bawling. like I was sad and like I was alone and I had no hope. I was just
You picked
standing
up
there.
on his feelings. You picked
Pro-
up on his emptiness. Yeah.
Oh, it was real sad.
I bet. I bet.
And then I heard him crying in the bathroom,
Uh,
and then he
yeah.
stopped. And then I woke up. I realized what happened. And I
Yeah.
turned around. I went back to my bed, and
Yeah.
then it stopped. The haunting stopped, and then the boy started sharing ghost stories, and I shared a ghost story to him, and I put all those boys to sleep.
Yeah.
And supposedly that guy, he doesn't bother. He bothers people until they expire themselves. So
Uh,
I don't know about that.
that's interesting.
Yeah, that was my time in Ogden, Utah,
Okay.
and after that, I went down into. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, and we can change gears now. I was
No, no,
gonna go
you're fine. You're
to
fine.
the
Keep going.
hauntings. So before my aunts in Mesa, I went to conservation corps out of Northern California,
Mhm.
called Hoopa Tribal Conservation Corps, and
Mhm.
we helped out a lot of places in Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky. So we went to Kentucky this time. So we had to help out there. And we stayed at this old Methodist church in
Mhm.
Frankfort, Kentucky. And
Okay.
this church had a little gym that was connected. Two
Mhm.
stories. So the top one you can run around in circles. The bottom
Right.
one's basketball.
Okay.
Separate is wings.
Right.
So we were on the other side and the girls were on the other side and we're picking our spots and I fixed my cot right in front of this closet door, and I was trying to open the door. The door was locked. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
probably balls in there, but I'm gonna put my cot here. I had a weird feeling like, why am I putting it
Right.
in front of the
R
door? You're not supposed
right.
to do that, but
Right.
there's a lot of us guys there. I'm like, oh well, you know, I'm gonna sleep here. It's okay. And I was really tired. We were working hard that day, and
Mhm.
I went to sleep and I started dreaming immediately that I was hearing a little girl on the bottom. She was crying, walking around, and
Mhm.
I was hearing footsteps running around the where people run to exercise.
Oh, sure. A track.
Yeah, and then where my cot was on that, there's a door, the closet door. Something was jiggling the door and hitting the door, and I was hearing a monster like from the other side of the door.
Okay.
And I jumped off of my cot and I started bear crawling to the light. And I woke up and it was my friend. He was staying there with the flashlight right at me and he was screaming my name, stop. I ran to him really fast and I grabbed him and then I ran to the balcony because that
Mhm.
girl was still crying, and this was
Oh.
real time.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was awake, experiencing the girl, experiencing something running around, and I was sleeping, and he said something was jiggling the door of the closet
Right.
and trying to open it, and he said that I was moving and I was moaning and I was mumbling something in my sleep, and I was going
Right.
like this, and he said I flopped off the cot and I started bear crawling towards him.
Oh, wow.
And he was screaming top of his lungs. He's like, "I'm so glad you're awake with me." He's like, "Dude, this place is haunted."
Oh, heck yeah.
He was grabbing me like this. This is
I
haunted
bet.
here. I was like, "I know, I seen it, bro. I see there's a little
Right.
girl down there." She was still
Right.
crying. She was still crying, and whew, man, we
Man,
were with the flashlight. We didn't even sleep the rest of that night. For the whole time we were there, he keeps
how
looking at
could
me.
you?
Yeah,
Right. How could you
yeah,
sleep?
yeah. We're with a lot of Native Americans, and there was only one Caucasian guy. He was the
Mhm.
only one awake that night, and every time he's looking at me, he's like, "There's a Skywalker. This guy can leave his body when we're sleeping." He's always
Right.
looking at me.
Oh,
It's a
funny.
it's a gift that I have no control over,
Yeah.
definitely. So,
Very dynamic dreams,
yeah, it come to life dreams.
I guess. That
So
is incredible.
when I like my wife is really knows me, so she knows when I leave my body.
Right. Sure.
She nudges me, "Buh, buh," and that when I
Yeah.
come back, like I'm falling from the sky into my body, and I get up, "Oh, babe, don't do that." I was like, "Oh my gosh." I just sit up and I'm scared because
Well,
I'm
yeah.
literally falling back into myself. She's like, "You're not supposed to leave. You don't leave. You know, God says you're not supposed to leave." And I'm like,
Yeah.
You are right, babe. You're all right. I'll try not to leave." She
Yeah.
knows. She knows when I'm going. It's weird. She
Yeah.
catches me every
She can
time when I'm.
sense it.
She knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wakes me up. You're leaving and get back in there. Like
Oh,
ah.
wow.
Like,
Wow.
"Babe, it's scary when you do that. I don't like it." I was like, "Let me
Yeah.
come back naturally. I was just
Yeah.
flying around this time, you know, I like the
Yeah.
skies."
But it's hard to know. I
Yeah,
remember
especially
when I was a kid dreaming about flying around my neighborhood. I
yeah,
just dreamt I was flying over
astral
just
projection.
horizontally like Superman, just flying around
Yeah.
my neighborhood in sunlight. And I remember thinking, "Boy, it would be cool to do that." And I dreamt about it and dreamt about it, and then I remember gunk hitting my bed. And I thought, "What?" And my mom used to joke around with me and go, "Yeah, that's when your body lands too hard back in your body." And I said, "My what?" And she goes, "You know, your other body." And I, "What?" And she's,
So
your soul, it's your other body." And I went, "Oh." I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. But
mm,
yeah, but she said, "Yeah, your soul basically crash lands back in your body, so it jolts you once in a while."
mm,
I thought that was pretty
yeah.
funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
like a kid, you know, I was doing that ever since I can remember. My whole family can do that.
yeah.
Every one of my family, they have dreams where they wake up at the ceiling and they're turning around, they see themselves sleeping and they
Oh,
can't
yeah.
get into their body because 'cause they're stuck. And
Oh my
me,
gosh.
I'm wandering around trying to get out the house.
Mhm.
Sometimes I wake up in a house and I can't get out and I make noise and people get up. "What's that noise?" And they can't see me. I'm like, "Oh no."
Oh,
I'm making too much noise. I can't get out.
that's funny.
So
That's
I would
funny.
wake up like, "Oh no." Because the skinwalkers, they can do that too. So at
Okay.
night, they roam around and do their stuff. In the
Right,
daytime, they
right.
sit there and they meditate and they astral project, and their wife
Okay.
protects their body during the day because they're
Interesting.
out in the daytime collecting information from us.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they
I've
go
never
back
heard that
to their
before.
body.
That's fascinating. Well, that's what
But
they do in Tibet, that the monks actually have a practice of doing that.
yeah,
Astral projection and going places, and they have sacred spaces where you're not to ever go in the room. You protect the person that's
yeah,
meditating.
yep,
Yeah,
they have a secret layer for that. It's called Int Impahuan. So it
yeah.
means the hidden secret house, not for
Okay,
human eyes.
okay.
So and then they can access that place anywhere. So they would go into the closet and make a circle on the wall with
Mhm.
chanting. They do chants and chants with each circle, and they
Okay,
open the doorway and they can enter and go into their secret place.
interesting.
So they can open portals anywhere.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
So I'm
magic.
curious, you're able to talk about skinwalker things openly and easily. Why is it that you can talk so easily and openly about skinwalkers and most Native Americans don't even want to say the word? Why is that?
Survivor.
Yeah?
Survivor, being around them, and my whole family always hunts them,
Yeah.
and I have knowledge on how to hunt them and track them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways you have to find them and a lot of tricks. You have to think like them, and
Right.
how teaching has been brought down because we used to be that. That's
Right.
how my family got here from the genocide. All the
Mhm.
tribes here and all the America, the
Mm.
Mormon, the Mexicans, all came after us, the Utes,
Right.
the Hopis. And what we had to do, my family, was go to our black magic to
Mm.
survive. And we started
Okay.
playing hide and go seek from Utah to the Grand Canyon and back and forth.
That
So
actually
we
makes
were
sense.
yeah, we were always hiding, and the nighttime helped us out. The nighttime we call is our blanket. So we tell each other, "Don't be scared of the night. If it's not for this night, that we wouldn't be here."
Yeah.
The night's our blanket.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we
That's
have a
fascinating.
lot of stories on
I bet.
witchcraft and on the offensive against the Calvaries and the enemy tribes.
Wow.
That's how
That's
we got here.
fascinating.
That's where I descended from.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
it's
incredible.
Oh man, it's a lot of amazing stories. Um, it's a determination to survive. The determination to live and make sure you have descendants, and you remind them, say, "Hey, this is what we had to go through to make sure you're here. You're very lucky to be here." You
Hmm.
know, so there's a lot of stories of struggle or survival, not only in the physical but also in the spirit realm. So it's just amazing, being from the Navajo Nation. And one of the things that I want to do is capture it. And I know I'm not the only one that experienced this same type of walk and upbringing. There's many of us out there,
Right.
much more unique stories as
Right.
well.
Right.
Mm. So
So
I think the reason why people aren't afraid of is I don't know which tribe you speak with. Which tribe
there's a lot of tribes here. My husband actually, him and his mom had a Native American gallery for years. And there's in Washington state where we live, there's tribes all up and down the coast, a lot of coastal Indian northern coast,
the tiny
and
ones?
then inland tribes. There's tons. There's so many. So I don't have one tribe that I speak to per se at all. I've been
Oh,
exposed to many.
oh,
So
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I've spoken with many up there, and they said they don't have that type over there, but
yeah,
what
I
they
don't
have
know.
is, they have a trench coat being type of, uh, a man. He has a
Yeah,
hat on, and carries a suitcase, and that's the closest thing they got to a skinwalker.
interesting.
And here, Navajo land, we're told not to say it, because you're
Right.
gonna draw them in. And, like,
Right.
speaking about paranormal things, like what we're doing is very taboo, because 'cause
Oh
you're
yeah.
opening the door, you're giving them the strength to come back into your life and our lives and many other lives, so you're empowering them. So that's one of the taboos that us Navajo are told not to speak of. And also, I could have a grandparent or a grandmother that is practicing that,
Okay.
because skinwalker is a religion, because how they became skinwalkers a long time ago. Navajo land was a lot huger back then. We had more Navajos back then,
Right.
and we had medicine men, but they couldn't be everywhere at the same time. And we had a
Right.
plague. We had a plague going on there, and the thunder god, he seen what was going on, that the medicine men couldn't be everywhere at the same time. So he
Right.
came down and said, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you guys this gift. I'm gonna teach you this magic, how you can get to point A to point B quicker, so you
Mhm.
can save your people. Your people are dying." So he
Right.
came down and taught them these gifts, so they start traveling everywhere fast, bringing people back to life.
Wow.
And then the evil one, the black god, the god of the dark one, so
Okay.
he watching all this thing going on, he came along and tempted them. He said, "You guys got the gift, but I can make it better." He made a prophet, or what'd you call it? That's what's that word? Well, he made another deal, say that you can
Okay.
have that and you can have much more,
Okay.
if you give me this, which is blood, your
Yeah.
firstborn, or the blood of the one you love the most in this world.
Okay.
You have to kill them, and then you get that gift, which
Uh,
is magic, portals, a lot of evil stuff, basically.
yeah.
So, that's where one of our old stories. So there's many different regions across the Navajo Nation has similar stories, but some may be older. So that's one of the stories that we all know.
That's amazing.
And even like down to the 1860s, our chiefs, they had their own society. They were called the messengers. And even down to this day, there's still messengers, still to this day, that
Yeah.
they travel everywhere, but they don't practice the black magic, and they don't practice the good magic, but they go from here to there. So if you ever look up Navajo marathon ultra runners, one of them could be the runner for that society.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
they would give
incredible.
them gifts. They would say, "You're gonna be the runner for us. If if the world collapses and they wanna kill us all, you're gonna be the chosen messenger to give messages while we're hiding again." So we're
Oh,
still
wow.
ready. We're still ready for the second round of the
Right.
genocide to come again.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're always prepared. So they would go to those runners, those marathon runners, and say, "Here, go run over to this canyon underneath this tree. There's a box. Go dig it up and bring it back to this cave up on top of this mountain." And that
Right.
runner does. He goes, he runs, he goes to that thing, he goes up there. When he goes to the cave, it's all these people. They have no tops, men and women, and they're dancing around the fire, and
Okay.
they they initiate him.
Okay.
He's going to be a skinwalker or just a messenger.
Interesting.
So all across Navajo Nation, there's a secret society of that, and they don't want anyone to know about it. They don't want anyone to talk about it, and they like the misinformation that's going
Of
on out
course.
there. Yeah,
Of
so like
course.
you got people from back east. They think this skinwalker is a cryptid. He is not a cryptid. He's a man that has horrible, terrible magic that he
Okay.
can do. He can make your body go numb. He can make you freeze.
Right.
He can kill you. He can do all kinds of poisons, and he can come in and make you go to sleep while he's doing anything he wants to you. It's
Spooky.
very horrible. Very horrible.
Spooky. I'm going to pause this here for just a quick second. Hang on one second.